So I think everybody had an overview of what is BIM about. Okay, so I'm just one thing that BIM City doesn't exist at this moment. So you can see that is the future story of how people can understand overall from the conceptual for building using BIM and also for infrastructure using BIM. Okay, so what is BIM and why is it important? So what is BIM? BIM is an acronym for Building Information Modeling, and it's highly collaborative solution for multiple stakeholders, specifically for architectural, engineering, and construction. So if you look at the professionals to collaborate in terms of planning, design, construction of a building within one 3D model, okay? So you're able to utilize this more. Number two, if you look at BIM or Building Information Modeling, is a process for creating and managing information on a construction project across the project lifecycle. One of the key outputs of this process is the building information model itself, which is a digital representation of the built asset, specifically for design, construction, collaborations, and also asset or facility management. So you're able to use BIM. Okay. So if you look at overall project life cycle, you are able to use BIM at various stages. So start from conceptual design, then you are looking at detailed design moving across. You are able to enable more analysis, then coming to documentation, then for fabrication team, moving towards construction as in 4D or 5D, then construction logistic in terms of site planning and logistic planning. Then finally, you come into operation and maintenance. And of course, BIM also can be used for renovations. So this is the overall BIM process in project development lifecycle. So if you look at the BIM process overall, so what are the process coming into? So you are looking at the high level first is plan, design, build, and manage. So within the benefit of the process, you can look at 3D visuals before the concept and construction. Okay, you're also looking at customization or flexibility or even design options. Rather than looking at drawings and sketches, you are looking at 3D models. Then you move into coordinations and collaboration. So when I look at coordinations and collaborations, you are also communicating with multiple stakeholders and decision makers of how this development can take place. Then you also identify conflict detections and risk mitigation. So conflict detection is where the clash analysis comes into play. You are able to identify any reworks that possible to happen later during design stage itself, before even breaking the ground. And the risk mitigation in terms of all the utilities, underground services, and also the weather risk mitigation can be anticipated by using this 3D model. Moving further, it is your performance and less reworks, moving to productivity and cost optimization. So overall, if you look at this, you can reduce 20 to 30% of wastages because you are able to plan, anticipate, then only execute. Because most of the time, the plan it's executed, but without having a proper coordinations or collaboration in terms of information. Then finally, you can see easy for maintenance for the entire building life cycle. So if you look at from plan, design, build, and manage, you also can look at what are the key benefits here. At the conceptual and feasibility study, you're able to use BIM. Schematic and design development, BIM is still added value. Simulation and analysis. Construction documentation, where the construction drawing is produced from the coordinated BIM model. And then moving towards fabrications, the entire fabricator's quantities, sizes, precisely provided from the BIM model. Then you can able to build and construct on site using the 3D BIM model. And with the same integration, you are able to bring it over to operation and maintenance. The same single model that you used for conceptual design, detailed design, construction, fabrication, now finally you're using for operational and maintenance based on as-built model. Okay, so this is overall BIM process. So before moving further, we also need to understand what is the adoption rate within Malaysia itself. where we are, okay, as of BIM. And this status of statistical information is been provided by CIDB based on 2016's adoptions information. So if you look at it from the central region, it's about 78% adoption. And if you look at northern region, it's about 2%, 6% on East Coast region, 8% on the southern region. And if you look at Sabah and Sarawak, it's about 6%. Okay, and this percentage have moved further because there's majority of projects specifically for government related project, they have included as in obligation that the main contractor or the project management consultant have to adopt into BIM. So what are the benefits of BIM? Feel free to stop me because I'm used to doing this. I'll be just proceeding further here. Okay, so first is design. So most of the user will be coming from the design participants or design usage. So at design, you are doing visualizations. So visualizations will help make faster decision for design intent and also project execution because you're able to look at what will be constructed at the design stage itself. And not only used by the architect, it will be used by all the stakeholders, including structural engineer, including M&E engineers, main contractors, even the quantity surveyors or the QS consultants. Second benefits or second value by using BIM will be conceptualization. So you are able to explore more possibilities in less time and efficiently create and manage complex geometry. Most of the time, only architects will have high level of information or creativity by using 3D model or even SketchUp, for example, from those days. But now, by using BIM as a process, your conceptualization carries information. So you're able to look at different possibilities in terms of shape, in terms of design, in terms of quantity, GFA calculation. You're able to do that more by using BIM as the process. Then, of course, you are looking at clash-free design. Most of the time people say, oh, this is contractor. Let contractor struggle this on site. But if you realize, if you are able to make clash-free design, you save a lot of time in terms of clash resolution or even variation order, which will increase time and cost during construction. Okay, so you are able to manage, coordinate the process fully from design all the way up to construction. So this clash-free design, it is done at two stages, during design stage and during construction stage. So which is participated in design coordination meeting and construction coordination meeting. So that's on design. Moving next is procurement. So during procurement, so people will be looking at, so procurement, we do need BIM? Yes. You are able to use BIM for work packaging, which is aligning the design and contracting strategy. So you're able to also visualize, do I need to have one contract to execute this entire building or infrastructure project, or should I split this into a work packages? For example, if you look at MRT line 2, there's multiple contractors has been assigned by different chainages, some into the station, some into the viaduct, some into the work packages by chainages. And if you look at building contractor, some can be awarded as substructure work, superstructure work. So this work packaging decided based on a BIM model, which will give a full visibility to all the stakeholders to execute the contracting strategy. Okay. And further is quantification. So most of the time when I show this, then the QS will be thinking, looks like my job going to be at stake. Actually, no. So as the quantification comes in or quantity takeoff, BIM model able to produce quantity, but QS consultants or QS still needed in terms of putting up the rate and also do the best optimized quantity or the best optimized cost. So QS still needed to do that. But this quantification is model-based quantification, and the estimation are generated from the bill of quantities, which you can bring it over to the tender documents for the tender execution process. Okay, so it is interrelated and vice versa. Any changes on the model automatically reflected into the quantity and also reflected to the BQ. Okay. So of course, contractor evaluation. Now, by having BIM in the process, you also will be able to evaluate the contractor, whether they understand completely of the BIM, not about only the model of 3D, the method of construction. So most of the time, contractor will come in and say, yeah, this is 12 months or 14 months, we can complete. But how do you do it? They just copy and paste in terms of method statement. Now, by looking at a 3D model, they need to incorporate their schedule with method statement. So this will give them an idea how these 12 months of execution or how the 14 months of execution takes place in terms of their logistic, in terms of their transportation, in terms of your method of construction. Okay, so this will give a full visibility. And there's also one session where all of you will get full knowledge about 4D simulation. I think one of the days in this 1 week. And anticipate risk. You're also able to anticipate risk by having BIM model, because you are able to look at real world condition and site specific environment. Because when you look at infrastructure project or even a building project, the footprint of the project or even the alignment of the infrastructure project can be superimposed against your Google information or your land spatial information, so that you're able to see what are the existing structure or what are the existing utilities that exist and how these can be benefited. Okay, just one second. I think I played on the machine too long. Okay, so that's on the anticipated risk. So now on the construction. So moving towards construction of the project lifecycle, you are looking at planning. Like what I was mentioning just now, you or the main contractors or the turnkey contractors have to look at how the construction should take place, how the design has come in and how they're going to complete within the 12 months or 14 months. So based on that information, the model will be integrated with the schedule. So you are able to see how day one or week one or month one, what will be planned to be constructed and how this will be executed. That's where combining of 3D model together with the schedule represents as fourth dimension. So the fourth dimension is the time component here. Progress report. Yes. Now to take this further, people have used drone to pick up the actual progress monitoring on site and also scanner to compare plan versus actual. So you're able to compare what was planned for and what has been executed actual on site, rather than using photo and also compilations of progress report. So you can do that by using drone and BIM model now. And request for information and